There were some years that was slow growth. There's some years where, when I met Gary, right, we were reminiscing about this morning. When I met Gary and he was looking at our business, he says, Jamie, what's the biggest pain point in your business? What's your biggest struggle? And my answer, and I remember this clear as day, I'm like, Gary, it feels like the speedometer in my car says 100 miles an hour. I'm going 100 miles an hour, but my tires are on ice. I'm really only going 10. That's my biggest struggle. Like, I didn't see the success happening. It's like the guy going to the gym who's like, I'm hitting the weights, I'm doing all this New Year's resolution, and you look in the mirror and you're the same sloppy guy you were the day you started, and you're still the same weight. It takes time to get the momentum going. So that was a big struggle, but I'll tell you, and I talk about this all the time, all it takes is one game changer, John. You get one guy like you on your team, your career will never be the same. It will not be the same. Eric Chapman's first interview that he took out was a guy by the name of George Papalexandratos. He recruits this stud who's like this eager beaver that wants to do big things in the business, and all ships rise with the tide. Both of them went on to become consultants. So you just need one game changer. Like, think about it like sports. You get the LeBron James on your team, or whoever you guys think is the stud athlete. I mean, pick your athlete. But you get that one person, you put a whole team around that. But when I had my game changers show up, the whole business changed. When Sebastian Angus showed up, the whole business changed. When Joe Nolan showed up, the whole business changed. It just takes one. I'm not trying to recruit 100 people. I'm just trying to recruit one. Get that one person like you who's like-minded, same values, same big picture, wants to do big things with their lives, falls in love with the business, and I'm telling you, you're going to be on stage picking up awards, and everybody's going to ask you, like, what's working for you? And you'll be like, well, I recruited one guy. I talk about that a lot, game changers. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they smell like, so interview, you just never know. But when they come in and they get into the business, it changes everybody's trajectory. Holding a mirror up more often earlier would have been helpful, this whole self-awareness. I mean, this is a young crew of people that I'm talking to here. I mean, it's very difficult to look in the mirror. And thank God over my life, I've had several people who have had the courage to say, hey Jamie, you see this bit of ugliness going on here? And a lot of times I won't appreciate that initially, but man, I needed that. I need somebody to point out some of these flaws because all of us are, I don't know if you guys know this or not, this may come as a shocker. Do you guys all know that you are dysfunctional? My first Tony Robbins seminar was so good. This is before he became a big household name. It was only about 1,000 people in the crowd, and Tony Robbins starts the seminar saying, hey, just quick show of hands, how many of you guys grew up in a functional house? And nobody's hands went up. He's like, now that we can all admit we're dysfunctional, can we learn to get over ourselves and build the new you? I'm like, ooh, this is interesting, Tony Robbins. So we're all bringing some kind of garbage to the table. So the question is, what's the trash? What do you need to purge, and what do you want to? So let's remove some old hardware and let's download some new software here. Like, so what exactly is that, man? It takes self-awareness. That takes, that's not easy. That's not easy stuff. That's what a spouse is for, right? I mean, you get married. I mean, my spouse has no problem, holding that mirror up in front of me. My kids, people like Gary, good mentors, peers, people like Gareth can point that stuff out as well too. And some stuff is hard to hear, but man, I need to hear it. I love this saying by Norman Vincent Peale. The problem with most of us is that we'd rather be ruined by praise than saved by criticism. I just love that. I'm like, problem with most of us. Am I in that boat? Yeah. I'd rather get praise. I'd rather get a pat on the back. It feels much better than saved by criticism. Like, I need some of that criticism. So I just wish I had that mirror up in front of my face earlier. I had this false ego. I thought I was better than I really was. And I didn't really want to hear a bunch of criticism. And I think sometimes in our business that happens. We put you on a pedestal because you're the high roller. You're the high roller. You're the high roller. You're doing so well. Praise, praise, praise. And then after a while, you feel like, oh, gee, I can't do anything wrong. And gee, I don't want anybody to know I've got a little bit of insecurity because everybody thinks that I'm so great or something like that. So I think sometimes it's the nature of our business is you kind of feel like you have to know all the answers, but After 25 years doing this, you learn. I find the older I get, the more I realize I don't know. Like somehow I'm getting dumber as I'm aging. There's just so much I don't know. But ask the 25-year-old Jamie, I'd be like, dude, I know most things. I don't know anything. Well, momentum, right? I mean, John Maxwell, I like how he puts it. He says, momentum is the great exaggerator. When you have positive momentum, you look better than you really are. When you have negative momentum, you look worse than you really are, right? So how do you get that positive momentum? Well, I mean, actually, what popped up on my screen, I don't know if any of you popped on, today is the anniversary, I don't know how many years, and the meme that showed up on my phone was the Tom Brady New England Patriots 28-3 comeback happened today, however many years ago, the Super Bowl. You guys know which one I'm talking about? Any Atlanta Falcons fans in the house? I mean, you know this day very well. Probably one of the worst days of your life, right, if you're a Falcons fan. And so it's interesting if you watch the tape, because I have been obsessed. I love sports, love Tom Brady, and I've watched even like you can actually go into YouTube and find it. You know that pick that they got at the end? There's a 15-minute YouTube video worth watching if you're obsessed about this, that they practiced that play, right? So Bill Belichick is looking across the field at Pete Carroll. Everybody, the time is running, and Belichick didn't call a timeout. And everybody's looking at him like, Coach, you want a timeout? He's just staring at Pete Carroll, and he calls goal line. He calls the play. He knew the play they were going to run. They practiced this in practice, and they got that pick. Anyway, I'm a little off on this. But Tom, on the sidelines, when you look at the third quarter down 28-3, how did they get momentum? Tom didn't say, guys, like he didn't rally the troops. Imagine how dumb this would be. Tom Brady, hey guys, huddle up. Listen, I'm the quarterback of this team. Guys, we're going to win this game. Everybody would have been like, Tom, we're getting embarrassed. Like, quit trying to give us this fake pump-up speech. No. Tom grabbed his offense and said, guys, let's drive the football and score on the next possession. Whether it's a field goal, touchdown, we got to drive the ball and we just got to score. He was just looking for 3 points. He rallied the troops behind just getting a score. Now, we know what happened. They scored a touchdown. Well, let's go for 2. We got nothing to lose at this stage. Oh, they got the 2 point. The next possession, guys, we got to score. Next thing, I don't have to tell you how the story unfolds. I mean, New England wins 34-28 in overtime, but they're down 28-3. But the positive momentum starts with inches. I've been coaching Little League sports and stuff my whole life. I shouldn't say my whole life. My son's whole life, I've been coaching this stuff. I'm telling you, it's sometimes you're down 5-0 in baseball. And it's like, listen, we just need a hit. Just get on base. Take a walk, get a hit. And it's so interesting to see this play out where guy gets a hit, he's on first. Next guy gets a hit. Oh, we got runners on first and second. We got a homer here. It's now a 5-3 ball game. So it's interesting how momentum works. It just starts with something small. Look for a little dub. That's what I want. I want little dubs for my kids. I want little dubs for the people I work with. I need a little dub sometimes. When I got negative momentum going on in my life and my wife's crapping all over me for, like, look at this mirror. You see how ugly this is? Look at it. Look at it. Oh, I'm like, oh, geez, I'm not feeling good about it. Oh, I'm being saved by criticism right now. This doesn't feel so good. I just need a little dub. That's how you get momentum going.